Hello everybody, this is Jason Whitney and
This is Ken.
and we're going to talk about something that really affects a lot of people. I think you've even mentioned about cravings, and there's a lot of different types of cravings. So let's talk about those different types. We're going to cover intellectual cravings or memory cravings. We're going to talk about physiological cravings, that's what your body's telling you it needs, and then we're going to talk about thirst. And first, let me just say, if you're thinking that you're having a craving or a hunger, your body really has a hard time distinguishing, telling you a signal saying, look, I'm thirsty, I'm hungry. It really doesn't have two different signals. It's the same signal for both things. Now, if you feel like you're thirsty on your tongue, you're past thirsty. You're already dehydrated. So when you get to that point, you're past. You didn't listen to the hunger signals that you had half an hour or an hour ago. And so when you first feel hunger, take some water. Take about 8 to 12 ounces of water. Wait about 5 to 10 minutes. And if that hunger is still there, then that truly is where you need some food. You need some nutrient or some macronutrient. You need protein, fat. Okay? If it's gone, that's your signal that you are truly thirsty. Right?
Exactly.
I mean, haven't you found that to be the case?
Absolutely. I mean, for me, that was a huge thing when trying to figure out my own body, when trying to do that. I started to do that half the time that I actually felt hunger, and I waited after drinking water. It was actually that I was thirsty.
It was actually thirsty.
I mean, I ate half as much as I would because I was actually thirsty, and I never listened to that before. I never tried just water.
And we call that body intelligence, by the way, just listening to your body signal. And how did you feel after you realized that, wow, my body does tell me things, and now I can interpret what it's telling me? What sense did it give you?
You know, when after I started drinking more water, for me, more than anything, it was about being able to, my body was more in tune when I had water. When I was fully hydrated, it was more in tune. I understood other cravings that I was having, perhaps, but I also understood and was able to understand, okay, you know, I wasn't as hungry as much because I was being able to hydrate my body, and at the same time, not give into so many cravings that I might have had. Water also, for me, satisfied a lot of cravings that I had. So with cravings as well, I would drink water, and to be able to, let my body know, look, here's some water, tell me what I really need.
And that's a great point, and let's talk about cravings. So what are cravings? And we're not saying that water, if you're hungry, drink water, it'll solve it. All we're teaching you is how to distinguish between true hunger and thirst. Now let's talk about the craving. So one thing that my wife and I used to do before we were on the protocol is that it was just a ritual. Every night when we were watching TV, we'd just pop some popcorn. We'd lay in bed, nibble on the popcorn, and then go to sleep. Okay? And so if you have that type of thing happen while you're on a protocol, we call that an intellectual or a memory craving, because a certain event is occurring, and that's why you actually crave it. It's not your body telling you that you need it. It's just that you're doing it because that's what we always do when we watch a movie. Have you had cravings or events where you just always eat a certain food when you do a certain thing?
I used to.
Like
I used
what?
to do that, absolutely. When holidays would come around.
Oh, yeah.
That's always a thing. Holidays, Thanksgiving, Christmas, whatever the case may be.
Yeah, pumpkin pie at Thanksgiving, right?
You know,
Christmas would be you'd have ham instead of the turkey, right?
Yeah, and it's an interesting thing when we have certain holidays or certain traditions. It doesn't have to be just holiday driven. It could be cultural or a media influence or whatever the case is. Says you need to do this now because it's this time of year. It's interesting. We get conditioned to do that, and we tend to rely on that instead of ourselves.
Now you mentioned something media. Now that's a strong, what they're trying to do when they show you those yummy ice cream with flowing caramel down the side, when the seductive music in the background, I mean, they're good at it, right?
Yes.
Well, when you watch one of those and you say to yourself, man, I just gotta have one of those, do this little trick and it works like a charm. And just think about actually eating that food. Think about spooning it up, putting it in your mouth, feeling it, the texture on your tongue, and swallowing it, what it tastes like. chances are, after you've gone through that experience and you think about it, you actually don't desire it anymore. That's your body telling you, you know what, that was an intellectual craving because I don't really want it. And try that even when you smell. So if you're smelling an odor, your friends are having lunch and you're having your shake, you smell it and go, oh, that pizza, I want some. See yourself in your mind eating the pizza and then ask yourself, do I really want it? Chances are your body's going to say, I don't need it. And the craving will go away, right?
Yeah. And absolutely.
And so understand the differences between what your body's telling you it needs and what your mind's telling you it used to have in that event. And when you're hungry, drink water first. If it's still there 10 minutes later, then you really are hungry and you need to reach for a muffin, a shake, or it's time to eat. So, thank you for your time. Ken, great comments. We'll see you later.